A big piece of advice that I've received, and that's part of the reason why, is being able to serve others in the process. So win-win scenario. I want the seller to win. I want the community to win. I want my investors to win. So for me, we create win-win scenarios to the best of our ability. And that's a big takeaway is, be a team player. Multifamily is about team operation. And it's not about going out there and finding your grape and putting it in your pocket. It's about getting a piece of the watermelon. So what we're trying to do is be part of a team, build a team, and create win-win scenarios for everybody so that we can have long-term relationships that last and serve people ultimately.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Bruce and Edith Edwards, the founders of Eden Elevations. They are carving out a unique path in investing. Bruce and Edith, it's so awesome to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
So let's dive in. Can you give us the rundown? Bruce, let's start with you. How did you get started in real estate?
Well, I kind of got into real estate investing by accident when I was about 10 years old. My parents were buying single-family rentals. I was involuntarily volunteered to be a grunt worker, so I was tearing up vinyl, ripping out bathrooms, doing all the things necessary to kind of like flip and hold. So we were kind of doing flip and hold back then, and we would put renters in there. We would do property management, take care of the renters, and so I was very much exposed to it. But in my era, we were also, I don't want to quote Robert Kiyosaki, off base, but, kind of caught in that rat race of, you work your W-2, you do this on the side, and then you work hard, you just work hard. And I found out there's two ways to do real estate. You can work hard and you can do a W-2, you can pay lots of taxes in the process, or you can shield your taxes by investing properly and more strategically. And so we transitioned into the multifamily as a result of that. Edith had a little bit of a different path that she can tell you about.
Sure. Mine not as elaborate and not at the age of 10, but it dates back to September 2021. I had spent a few years prior just listening to a lot of podcasts about real estate, and it was coming to about 10 years of working as a physician and kind of getting in the burnout, in the rat race and everything. And so this night I was up and just watching my son, who was then a couple months old, and I checked my emails and I find an email inviting me to a conference, and it was virtual. So it was at the time when everybody has gone through COVID and everything is becoming virtual. And so I said, well, I'm on maternity leave. Why don't I sign up for this conference? So I go ahead and signed up. And it was literally 3 days of just a lot of education, a lot of short-term rental education, long-term rentals, and bunch of terms that became much more apparent, and I just got very pumped. And I was like, I have listened to too many people. I think it's time for me to take action. And several of the presenters were available as mentors. And I literally just took steps that I had not really thought about before. I was like, I'm going to sign up with Dr. So-and-so. So I signed up and I got educated, in the upcoming few weeks. And literally by November that year of 2021, I remember myself making a 1,500-mile drive to Florida. And there I bought my first short-term rental, and within 2 weeks, it was up on Airbnb.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And so just continued to explore different things. I was thinking about rental arbitrage as well, but it was quite involved with my full-time job in medicine. And so I kind of sheltered that. And then I moved into passive investments and syndications. And a couple of years later, we met with Bruce, and turned out we were both interested in real estate. And he's very nerdy, reading a lot of information. He started talking about multifamily. And I was like, wait, I do know about syndications, but I always thought, somebody else does that. But Bruce was like, no, why can we not be the ones that actually bring investors together and syndicate these multifamily deals? And so that's basically how we got here.
Awesome. I want to talk a little bit more about Eden Elevations. I was looking at your website, really impressed and inspired by what you guys have going on. And on your website, it says that you elevate communities through strategic investments. Can you unpack what that mission is like in your day-to-day operations?
Yeah, so what we look at when we look at investment properties, we're also looking at, having them in the right communities, obviously being strategic about where we invest at. And so it's not just about the property and just about the money that it can generate, but also about the people and the community and making communities better. One thing that we like to do, and I'll give you the website. So one thing with our apartments, we like to have a mentor there, a pastor there. And so through apartmentlife.com, you're able to also sometimes provide a apartment for somebody who can be there for people in need, who can flourish from having somebody there that they can talk to or speak to, knowing that we have a large demographic of different people in apartment complexes. And so it's really, being able to do Christmas things and stuff, it's really huge to be able to invest in more than just a property, but to invest in the community that's there also, so that you're able to better lives, better properties, grow neighborhoods, and do all those kinds of things. So that is just as important to us as the property itself. So that's why we've walked away from properties that just wouldn't fit that bill. Well, first and foremost, we have to be responsible to our investors. So we do have to get a return on investment. So we do look for areas that have population growth, that have lower crime rates, that have economic development, and are suited to benefit from that growth and cleanup. So a lot of times we find these properties in areas like that, and we're able to make them better so that people can thrive in those situations and environments. Sometimes there's areas where that doesn't work and it isn't practical. And so, it's a balancing act. We have to balance, the community and the investor both, but we have to first be responsible to the return on investment and then look for an opportunity to build a community simultaneously.
What caught my attention about both of you is how you stepped into this space and only in a few years that you've made quite an impact. That's no small feat in a space that often demands a lot of experience. What's been key to gaining traction so quickly?
Well, it's a few things. I'll tell you a quick story. So as I have mentioned, when I was about 10 years old, I was working on rental properties with my dad, with my parents. Everything was paid for. They were buying these, paying for them. We were fixing those up, and I've got my spider stories and all those kinds of things I could tell you. But what I learned was there's a lot of hard work and then there's another side of real estate, which is the strategy side of it.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And so what my parents were never able to do is they couldn't scale, 6, 7, 8 rental homes. It wasn't bad. But the scalability was tough because the whole key was, we're going to save some money, invest, do this, do that. And so we really, what I was looking at was how do we scale this business? How do we benefit from the other side, which is the strategy side. And so how we've gained traction is by understanding the real strategy to real estate investment. Rather than just working hard, we strategize, we educate, and we get educated, and we've aligned ourselves with solid people in the business who have high level, really high level impact already. So we're not pioneers trying to break open a new venture. We've aligned ourselves with high caliber real estate investors and learned from them and partnered with them and invested with them as well, so that we were properly aligned. So when we have bigger properties, we bring in bigger caliber co-GPs to work with us and make sure that we dot all of our I's, cross all of our T's. When we do our underwriting, we can have 6 or 7 different people also underwriting those and making sure that we are very precise. That gives us the ability to have large level impact because we're not making lots of mistakes and we're able to move forward rather than digging ourselves holes that we fall into.
Yeah. Can you share a specific connection or piece of advice from building those relationships that changed how you approach a deal?
Well, a big piece of advice that I've received, and that's part of the reason why, is being able to serve others in the process. So win-win scenario. It's a Stephen Covey thing. Win-win. I want the seller to win. I want the community to win. I want my investors to win. So for me, we create win-win scenarios to the best of our ability. And that's a big takeaway is, be a team player. Multifamily is about team operation. And it's not about going out there and finding your grape and putting it in your pocket. It's about getting a piece of the watermelon. So what we're trying to do is be part of a team, build a team, and create win-win scenarios for everybody so that we can have long-term relationships that last and serve people ultimately.
How do you differentiate Eden Elevations when you pitch to potential investors? And, the market can be pretty crowded too.
We differentiate, we're a faith-based company. So we have bigger picture directives on what we're doing. We do, like I said before, we do want to get good return on investment. We're looking at 16 to 22% IRR. We want good DSCRs. We want, great equity multiples, but we also want to build communities, have a good relationship, have great relationships, in fact, because that makes your work fun. That makes your job fun. That makes your interactions fun. And so this isn't just about making a dollar. It's also about building a person, about building relationships, about making things enjoyable, at the same time, and responsible both. And I think that's a differentiator for us, because we take all of that very seriously. We're not just looking to capitalize on a dollar, and we don't take advantage. We really want win-win scenarios for people.
I love that. The next question I have is actually for both of you, because maybe you guys might have a different answer for each of you. What's a key lesson that you've learned about a deal structure that you wish you knew when you first got started?
I'll let you go first.
Well, I think for me, it's basically getting the right team with you. Again, not trying to do everything by yourself. When I got started with real estate, I was the deal analyzer. I was using all kinds of calculators and staying up at night to morning. I'm managing the properties by myself. I'm doing everything. I'm making the phone calls. It's impossible. So I think the best thing to do is to obviously vet your teammates, get the best team on your side. And as Bruce said, it's not about going for the full grape. It's about getting a piece of that watermelon, and very key with multifamily investing, or even being part of it at all.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
If I'm being perfectly honest, how difficult it is, and how challenging it can be to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. Everybody wants to make a multifamily real estate investing a easy breezy, just go out and do it. It's not that easy. It really isn't that easy if you don't do your due diligence. You have to do your due diligence. You have to really work hard. You have to align yourself with the right kinds of people. You have to know what the market is. You have to know really what you're doing, and you have to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers and you're just making guesses and you don't understand your metrics, you're going to make mistakes. And so I've really learned that, as Edith said, working within a team environment, having people cross-check your work, I feel like I'm a great underwriter, but it sure makes me feel better when somebody else looks at it and goes, yeah, have you thought about this? I did, but I did that. That's the great things. And so when you've aligned yourself right, and I've really learned, because you kind of go into this from a single family, you kind of think, okay, do it yourself. As Edith was saying, do it yourself. That's not the multifamily real estate investment game. It's so much about be part of a watermelon, be a piece of that watermelon, do your part, do what you're good at, and then let somebody else do what they're good at, and you're not going to make a lot of mistakes. You try to be, none of us are the full watermelon when it comes to, you've got contractors who are working for you, you've got due diligence people, you've got your admin, you've got all these things. We're not going to all be good at everything. So when you find what you're good at, we take our pieces and we make sure that what we're focused on is what we're good at, and then that way we're able to dot I's and cross T's very effectively.
Speaking of that, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's, every operator has a moment where things get real. Maybe a deal goes sideways or you had to pivot fast. Do you guys have a moment like that in your journey?
I haven't had a deal necessarily go sideways, but we do deal with, how would I say this diplomatically, information that is not provided freely on the front end. So sometimes you have to retrade. So you get into a situation where you think you know the numbers, you think you know everything, you think that people have been open and transparent with everything about the property, and then you find out, there's a foundation crack. You find out that, there's a handful of HVAC air conditioners that weren't taken care of. So that's where you have to kind of pivot, and you got to use people skills. You have to deal with people a lot, so you have to be responsible. So you have to retrade that. And that can kind of sometimes go sideways. You have, different types of people and owners, and sometimes, those things can go sideways, and you have to walk away from a deal. And that's why due diligence, we do really tight, thorough due diligence. Not one unit is not walked through. We look at units at night, stay 3 days. We want to know what's going on at night. We want to know what's going on during the day. We want to look in every unit. We want to know everything. So our due diligence is key. And sometimes that can create some sideways tracks, like, we didn't know that. You didn't tell us that. And so that's one of those things where you have to walk away from a deal if it's not going to be what's best for your LPs and other people involved.
Right on. Earlier, before we started recording, you were talking about sheltering W-2 income. I know that's something that you're really passionate about, so I wanted to open the floor for you to share all of your information with that.
I'm going to let Edith kind of talk on that, some of the cost segregation and bonus depreciation factors. And she's the doctor, not me, and understands how important it is to shelter that W-2. So I'll let her kind of touch base on that.
Well, yeah, just as I initially said, that one of the reasons that led me into learning more and listening and getting into real estate was really when I looked at my paycheck and how much I worked and how much at the end of the day, how much really was available for my family. Listening to different people, I learned, there's different legal and right ways to shelter most of your income due to income. Obviously, my goal and our goal was to really cut down that most of the income is not even coming from the W-2 job, and that's sort of where we are. And so there's different ways, taxes. Now with Bruce having had the rep starters, which again, it's a whole topic on its own, it gives us the ability to shelter most of my W-2 income, rightfully so. Prior to that, or for people with short-term rentals, there's a similar strategy called material participation, which basically having a person involved in managing their short-term rental for specific amounts of hours a year, and that avails that tax credit or opportunity as well. And so with multifamily investments, I think the options are even broader. I just mentioned too, there's more ways of sheltering, and that's always available for any investors coming through as well. And we can always, break it down.
Yeah, yes, because one thing that President Trump just put back into practice is the bonus depreciation, and so that's 100% bonus depreciation in the first year of purchase of an investment. So we're able to provide great tax shelter, and the thing about it is this is all legal. It's all legal, and the reason why is because the government wants to invest in people who are providing homes. The government doesn't provide homes, they assist with homes, but somebody's got to provide that. So they're trying to help those investors, help those homemakers create that so that the people are better off, because we're in a deficit. We're in a deficit of $2 to $3 million, just in the United States. And so maybe it's more than that now. The numbers fluctuate a lot. The government is saying, hey, we're going to help you create those doors. We're going to help you find homes for families, or build homes for family, or create homes for families. So this it's not an undermining way of saving taxes. It's just an effective way of using your money the way you feel best, and not giving the government a tip, but just pay the taxes you gotta pay. Don't give them a tip. Take that money, invest it in communities, invest it in properties, provide homes and housing, and create a better world for everybody to live in.
Yes, a better world for everyone. And I know that you guys are focused on community impact. How do you plan to integrate that as you grow?
So as we grow, I can tell you, so when I used to live in Missouri, Joplin, Missouri, and when I was in my 20s, I used to go to, as kind of a volunteer program, I would go to apartment complexes, and we would teach Sunday school, we would do events, we would do things like that. I used to work as a government employee, and I was very keen on a lot of the different dynamics that happen throughout the communities and within these apartment complexes and things of that nature, working for a city government. And so what we want to do in terms of community is we want to make each apartment complex its own community, where we are giving back, where we are making life better because they live there, where, we're looking at, Christmas time. What are we going to do during Christmas time for our community? What are we going to do during Thanksgiving for our community? What are we going to be able to do for the children in that community? Maybe it's a Sunday school. Maybe it's an event. I used to work in events and marketing, and events for the city, so I'm good with events. And so I see it as, every area is its own community, and we want to enhance that community to the best of our ability, and it's just an amenity. And so we want to create amenities where we invest to the best of our ability.
And to add on to that, obviously me being in the medical field, I do look for the day that I'll be able to provide even things like quick sports physicals for kids before school opens. And during the events, we have a stand where maybe I have a couple providers who want to give their services, and myself wellness checks, as part of the service that we provide in our communities. So that's in the pipeline as well.
That's really exciting and really special. I can't say I've ever heard anyone say that on the show. I love that. Before we wrap up today, if someone wants to reach out, collaborate, or learn more about what you're doing at Eden Elevations, what's the best way to connect?
The best way to connect is go to our website. It's EdenElevations3.com. You kind of see the name behind us. It's just EdenElevations3.com. Also, there'll be a link in the bottom in the description of the podcast. You can go there and get a free ultimate guide to multifamily real estate, investing in multifamily real estate 101. It's got a couple things that are pretty advanced. It's got a few things that are pretty basic. It's just kind of like a 6-page. You'll get that for free. If you want to go there and click that link, we'll get you some information. You'll be able to get contact information there. On my website, you're also able to call me. And get a direct line, so you can contact me whichever way is most convenient for you, and I'd be more than happy to help you in any way possible and answer any questions that you have.
Perfect. Bruce and Edith, thank you so much for your time, your story, and your insights. I love how you're blending a community-focused mission with the hustle of commercial real estate. It's really inspiring and unique.
Can I leave you with one last thing?
Sure.
One last thing, and this is just big to me. One of our guiding principles is Proverbs 24, 3-4. Investment guided by wisdom, established with understanding, and filled with purpose. And as you see behind us, our slogan is partnerships with purpose. Everything we do is meant to have a bigger purpose, a better purpose, and a purpose that can help everyone.
Of that. For everyone tuning in, if you got value from this episode, make sure you're subscribed. We've got more conversations coming up with operators who are building incredible businesses in real estate. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.